Right, we're back. We're in Morocco. I will explain why. I'm on a fucking mountain. I wish I'm walking that way, but if I walk that way and film, the sun is behind me, so I'm so overexposed. We're doing a dopamine detox. And I fucking hate the connotations that this kind of thing has. I don't agree with this like how do you say his name? Imam Ghazi, like monk mode type shit. I'm not trying to lock myself away for a year, not talk to anyone and become fucking Batman. You know, become fucking autistic, not being able to talk to anyone. Fucking grew up socially awkward enough. Like, you don't need to be, you need to be socialising. You don't need to lock yourself away in a room for a year, fucking working and shit. But that being said, I do agree with short periods of monk mode, a week, 2 weeks, a month, to kind of like do inner work, I guess, for the right person. I came out here because I watched Fight Club, not literally, but it did inspire me a little bit to blow up my apartment. If you've watched Fight Club, you'll know what I mean by that. If you haven't, I'll explain briefly. Fight Club, the main character blows up his own apartment. He doesn't know it's he doesn't know it's himself doing it, or we don't know it's him doing it at that point in the story. He blows up his whole he blows up his whole apartment to signify like a change of environment, to signify getting rid of your environment and getting into a new environment. And that's what I've kind of done here with Morocco. It's a fuck it plan. But that's just the kind of person I am. I'm not adverse to risk. I'm not adverse to risk. I don't have a lot of money. I'm not here to fucking party and fuck around. I've done that a little bit, as you fucking do. I didn't go crazy, but it made me feel fucking soulless. It made me feel like I've got a lot of inner work to do, a lot of deep work to do. Hence kind of coming out here. I've got a tiny little spot in a little village with nothing going on. No shops there, no nothing. I've got to walk this fucking mountain trail. That's what I'm doing. It's an 1.5 hour mountain trail across like rocks and shit. It's dangerous. It's a hike to get to any civilization. But that's what I'm doing for the next week. Just sitting tight and figuring things out. I think I'll touch on this more, but I'll summarize. I feel like I kind of just need to sit in silence for a while. And I mean that metaphorically and literally. You know, all this stuff we do, I realize all this stuff I do, you know, going to the gym, even good habits and bad habits, vices, it's all distraction for avoiding your emotions and avoiding your feelings. Even if it's a good distraction, going to the gym, I'm still just avoiding my feelings. I'm not trying to deep it in this first video, but I've realized I'm too fucking smart to not realize this shit. It's a blessing and a curse. I'm too fucking smart. I'm too self-aware to realize what's going on, to not realize what's going on. And I can see it in pretty much everyone around me. I see it in myself. I don't want a normal life. I don't want fucking normal shit. Neither does anyone. It's kind of cringe when people say this, like no one wants a fucking normal life. Everyone wants to do what they want. But I realize that if you don't want a normal life, you need to do abnormal things. And I realize that the first step towards anything is self-mastery. The first step to achieving anything of note is self-mastery. You can't put a fucking Ford Fiesta on a racetrack versus Ferraris. You're gonna fucking lose. And that's kind of my ideology around this kind of seclusion, this kind of isolation. I realize I kind of just need to sit in silence and think about what I'm gonna do. Think about what I really want. Think about the kind of person I want to be, etc. So that's my life at the moment. I'm living in a little room, in a little village away from everything. And I'm just going to document what I feel about it. No distractions, no work. Might go to the gym, but it's difficult. It's no junk food, just clean food. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. The idea behind this shit is to completely avoid all activities that violently spike your dopamine levels. And in doing this, you lower the baseline, or you lower your baseline dopamine. So essentially, you need less dopamine to feel the effects. Dopamine is like any other chemical. You can build a tolerance to it. Any other reaction, you can build a tolerance to it. So for me, my thing is junk food. Every time I overindulge in junk food, or even indulge in junk food, right? The dopamine that you get from that sugar and other bullshit in there spikes. And then what comes up must come down. So your dopamine spikes, you feel good for a bit, and then it goes back down equally below baseline. And that's when you feel like shit afterwards, you know, you have like a sugar crash or whatever. And this happens with anything, drugs, video games. And all artificial forms of dopamine spike way more than non-artificial forms of dopamine. So for example, you're winning on a video game, fucking coming first on out of destroying the Nexus on League of Legends. I used to fucking love League of Legends. Will give you way more dopamine than going on a long walk, completing a hike like I'm doing on a fucking mountain. Proper shit. Winning that video game will give you way more dopamine than climbing a mountain. So why the fuck would you climb a mountain when you can just sit there and play your video game? Is what your brain thinks. And logically, you know, you think obviously playing League of Legends makes you a fucking loser, and climbing a mountain makes you a fucking G. That's what your logical brain says, but your emotions and your brain chemistry are all fucked up, so you don't actually want to do that. And so by not indulging in any of these dopamine how'd you say this shit? Dopaminergic? I think that's the word. Dopaminergic. Is that a fucking word? I think so. But in not indulging in these activities that massively spike your dopamine, you lower your baseline, you reset your baseline so that you enjoy doing difficult shit, so that you enjoy doing stuff that actually benefits you, that actually helps you progress in life, get that motivation. People mistake dopamine for the happiness drug, the happiness chemical. It's not, it's the motivation chemical. It's what makes you get up and do the hard work. It's what makes you get up and do what you don't want to do for the benefit of the long term. It helps you delay gratification. It helps you avoid these short-term pleasures. When your dopamine levels are fucked, we've all been in a dopamine hole. We've all fucking experienced the dopamine hole. You ever go out drinking, heavy night out, for example, you fuck your dopamine, spike your dopamine all night, you wake up hungover, and then you don't want to do fuck all. So the next day, you binge eat, you eat like shit, spike your dopamine to fuck again, and then you feel even worse. Now you're in a fucking dopamine hole. It's so fucking hard to get out that cycle. It's so hard to break that streak of shit habits. You're in a fucking dopamine hole. I've experienced fucking 7-day dopamine holes. It's like, fuck. Anyway, that's the idea behind a dopamine detox. As I said at the start, I fucking hate the connotations it's given on the internet, in the kind of self-improvement space, like you're meant to fucking lock yourself away and for 3 months and never fucking do anything, never turn into an autist, can't talk to anyone. I think a dopamine detox should just be a lifestyle choice, not a 7-day period or a challenge. You should just avoid dopaminergic, I can fucking say it now, activities, and go out and fucking socialise still. Go out, you know, maybe have a drink now and then if you're going on a date, improve the social skills. But for the most part, fucking avoiding the junk food, avoiding the alcohol, avoiding the video games, all that shit, and just getting the hard work done. It should be a lifestyle choice, not a fucking trend. What is the point of this? What is my intention behind this? Mental clarity. I've had the same problems for fucking ages. Have the same problems that I had a couple years ago. The same problems that I had a year ago. Same vices. Same forms of escapism. Same life, really. Not really, not 100%, but you know, I've grown a lot and done a lot, but I feel like I haven't. And I'm trying to accelerate that. I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to do something different. Nothing changes if nothing changes, right? So that's me. I'm going to document this shit because personal branding is important in this day and age. And I'm not expecting this to be the start of anything, really. I'm just using this as a way to develop the skill, as a way to improve at talking on camera, feeling less awkward on camera, putting my thoughts and emotions into words. And yeah, I feel quite good about this. So the food is looking like, we've got 8 eggs, a bit of mango and some avocado. Yeah, I'm being serious. For me, the hardest thing is eating clean. That's my vice, that's my dopamine. When I get anxious, I'll eat comfy. So for me, this is the hardest thing. What is massively helpful is where I'm at. There's just not really any access to food. We're looking to lose fat, really. Trying to get lean. There's no way I can hit my protein goals, really. There's no way I can hit my protein goal in my current situation without eating like shit, without eating protein bars and like massively going wild on the calories. So what I'm aiming to just lose fat. I'm gonna lose a bit of muscle as well. What I don't want to do is just overeat without getting enough protein. Then I'm just gonna put on fat and lose muscle. I'm happy to lose muscle and lose a bit of fat. For me, it's easier for me to put on muscle than it is for me to lose fat. It's easier to get myself in the gym than for me to eat clean and stick to the diet. So I'm happy to lose a bit of muscle, get lean, and then put the muscle back on, you know? So that's what we're looking at. Yeah, I'm being serious as well, look. Mango, avocado, eggs. Not massively different to what I eat back home, to be honest. The trouble with, it's really hard to lock in with diet if you're not cooking your own meals. I'm trying my best, you know. That'll wrap this up. I'm gonna do another one tomorrow. We're just taking action, you know, that's what it's all about. Just taking action, putting something out there in a bit.